Midterms are among us. But for some of you guys in high school, you guys are playing the professional waiting game, that is, applying for university. So comment down below and support each other in this time of waiting. Anyway, this video is going to be about how I got into Western University's MedSci program and how you can too. Damn, that sounds pretentious as hell. Anyway, I'm making this video to tell you guys that it's really not as hard as you think to get into university. And you should stop worrying so much about it. And also due to popular demand, as these pretentious sounding videos often get a lot of views. So I'm going to be completely honest in that regard. Anyway, I'm technically making this video 1 year late as I'm in the middle of my second year of university. So better late than never, and hopefully I sound a little less pretentious now that I had a year of experience in university under my belt and can give you a little bit more perspective on that regard. So before we begin the video, I realized that 87.7% of you guys who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So subscribe to support the channel, as I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and also check out the affiliate links in the description if you want to support the channel. That'd be a great help, thanks. So let's move on to the video. So let's talk about my grades. So my top 6 average when I applied to the MedSci program at Western was a 95.33. That was when I applied in late April, and I got accepted in early May, so around 2 to 2.5 weeks time. So what you can take from that is that grades are pretty much the most important part when applying to this university. However, at the end of the year, I ended with a 94.67% as my average, so I'll have to say goodbye to some of the scholarship money that I was supposed to have. So that was not ideal. But what I have to say about grades is that you don't have to have the highest grades to get into university. Because as it says on the school's website, the minimum average for this program is a low 90. And they really do mean that when you do check the website. So if you feel like everyone else has higher marks than you, then please check the websites and see what you actually need. Because even if it takes longer for the school to accept you, because your marks are a little bit lower than someone else's, you will still get accepted if you meet this threshold most of the time. It makes sense that they would take the highest marks first, and then over time they will get down to the cutoff range. Because not everybody that gets accepted eventually goes to that program, so that's why they take a little bit longer to send you your acceptance, because when someone rejects their offer, it opens up a slot for you to be accepted. Another thing about grades is that high school grades do not really matter in the grand scheme of things, and won't really determine how well you will do in university or not, because there's context behind every high school average. That is that a high mark in one university that is seemingly easier will not really translate to the same amount of success as, let's say, a higher mark from a higher ranked or harder university. I meant high school. But if you're curious of how I did in my first year of university, I have other videos that I did about that up here. And if you can't be bothered to watch it, my average for my first year was 98.8%. But the grades from high school and university have no correlation, so just remember that. Now let's move on to extracurriculars. And I'll be the first to admit that my extracurriculars were trash. I was not an exec in any club, nor was I a general member in any club, at least for the first 3 years of high school, until I decided that it was about time that I tried to catch up in my senior year of high school. But that didn't really go so well, because you can't really do 3 years of work in 1 year's time. And it further proves my point when the only extracurricular activities I did were writing some academic contests like the University of Toronto's National Biology Competition, which I did manage to win some awards for, so I guess that kind of boosted my confidence a bit. Because most of the time you don't really need to write a supplementary application unless you're applying for Ivy or something like that. So in reality, extracurriculars are not exactly required, but that doesn't excuse you from doing any of them, because I'm still trying to catch up and gaining experience, because I'm still quite green in aspects such as leadership and communication, so don't neglect your extracurriculars. And now let's talk about awards. Now, I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but it is the awards section, so what can I do? So for starters, I have none. Well, kinda. The awards I got in high school were the Bio Award and the UofT Biology Competition Award for getting the highest mark in the school and around top 5% in Canada. And while that might seem impressive at first glance, just know that the moments of glory only last about like 10 seconds. So none of this stuff is really life-changing in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, at the time I thought I was hot shit for winning those awards, but looking back and at the entire university application process, having awards pretty much has no bearing on whether or not you get accepted or not. Especially to a program like mine, in which you don't have to write any supplementary, so the university won't even know whether or not you want anything or not. In truth, pretty much the only thing that matters in a university application that doesn't have a supplementary are your grades. So my advice to you is that your first priority should be to focus on learning. Because if you can learn, then your grades will follow without you even trying that much. People just want to memorize and not learn. I'd say if you want to enjoy your time at school and have a more balanced life, actually learning the content will make things a hell of a lot easier for you. To conclude the video, whether you have an award, a couple awards, or no awards, high marks, low marks, or whatever, you can still get accepted into university just as long as you meet the minimum requirement for the marks, at least for universities that don't require you to write a supplementary. High school marks and awards have no bearing on your future success at university, so just keep that in mind. Don't get too high on yourself just because you did well in high school, and also don't get too low on yourself because you weren't as smart as some of your peers, even though grades aren't really a direct measurement of how smart you are. I'm pretty sure there are people who had lower marks than me in high school, but were infinitely smarter than me in a lot of other things that as a person overall, they were a hell of a lot more well-rounded than I was. Well, with that, I'll leave you with one last thing. Tests, midterms, and exams will indiscriminately clap anyone and everyone who is not prepared. It doesn't matter whether or not you had awards, high marks, or low marks. You can still do well if you prepare yourself in the present time. So if you feel like you're doing poorly compared to your peers in high school right now, then just know it has no bearing, no influence on how well you'll do in university. Because if you're hard at work consistently and your friends are not in university, then you will see the difference. So yeah, that's about it for this video. If you are interested in watching any of my other videos about university applications or my first year experience, they're going to be up here in the playlist or somewhere on the end card screen. So anyway, smash the like button and hit subscribe with post notifications on so you can see more content like this, as well as comment down below if you think I missed anything or if you want me to answer any of your questions, as well as check the affiliate links in the description below to support my channel. And yeah, hopefully it didn't sound too pretentious, but good luck, and that's it. See ya. Well, hopefully it won't take too long to edit this, because I am filming it on the same day as I am uploading it, because I was doing a lot of midterm work. Or midterm prep, actually, not work. Same thing. I don't even know why I'm still filming. What the heck? I didn't realize that.